y'all know who it is. And if you read the thumbnail, you know why we're here. So, no introductory piece this week, man. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So last time we all spoke, I did what I thought was going to be a two-part series about a season review for Florida State. And then both parts, I was going to discuss what I thought Florida State needed to do moving forward for the 2022 season to be successful. I thought there were two glaring issues the program had that hadn't really been discussed in detail, and I thought were imperative to the success of Florida State moving forward. The first part, I outlined that if the objective is to win 6, maybe 7 games, Jordan Travis is your guy. If you want to exceed that number, he ain't it. And I outlined why I thought, and I think you should go back and watch that video if you already haven't. The second piece of it, I was prepping to do the video, and I got a phone call. And I knew something was wrong because the person who called me, they normally text. We don't talk on the phone very often. And they're like, hey, have you heard this? And I said, no, I haven't. But appreciate the heads up. So I paused on the video, and a day or two later, Chris Marv announced as the defensive coordinator for Virginia, is it? Kudos to him. Congratulations. I said, you know what? I'll just pause on it because the part 2 I was going to discuss why Alan Fuller ain't it. Why Alan Fuller is not the answer at defensive coordinator. And I was also going to say who I thought his replacement was going to be. I thought his replacement was going to be Chris Marv, and I was going to outline different reasons why I thought this. Some things are hide in plain daylight for you sometimes, right? Plain eyesight. And I told you all, it seems like nobody caught this shit when I said it. I said then, maybe a few weeks ago, that Florida State had 3 defensive coordinators. Some people caught it, some people didn't. Well, Chris Marv was one of them. And some people, and around this time I'm doing this video, he is catching hell for a whiff of a linebacker prospect in South Florida, we'll discuss later. He's catching hell. People calling for his head. They don't want him there. And I'm like, man, these people really don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I said something on Twitter, and a lot of people reacted to it. And it was basically saying that you can't, on one hand, celebrate the improvement of Florida State's defense, and on the other hand, celebrate Marv being gone. Read between the lines. The operative term there was read between the lines. A lot of people didn't understand what I was saying, and they reacted to it wrongly. I was telling you that the reason behind Florida State's improvement was Chris Marv. Case in point, you really believe that Virginia, an in-conference foe, came and got Chris Marv because of the productivity and because you saw Kalen DeNoche play better? Like, you think Virginia came and got Chris Marv because you saw DJ Lundy play better? Y'all smarter than that. That's not why they came and got Chris Marv. They came and got Chris Marv because people who know that he's the reason for their turnaround at Florida State defensively. Let's not fool ourselves here. You don't go get a position coach and make him some type of defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, just based on one guy in particular, playing better than he did the previous year. All right? That's not why they came and got him. Y'all smarter than this. They came and got him, like I said before, because he was the person. Like, I have people tell me in the DMs, text messages or otherwise, man, I go to Florida State games and I don't even see Fuller talking to the kids. The person who I see talking to the kids position by position by position is Chris Marv and Randy Shannon. And it got me, thinking that everything that I had been hearing was true as it relates to the person who's really coordinating that defense is Chris Marv. Players like him. Players gravitate towards him. He knows his X's and O's, things of that nature. So it's kind of easy to gravitate a guy like that and promote him because at that point, the recruits are familiar with him if you do make a change as defensive coordinator. So I thought that just made all the sense in the world, right? And here he is gone. So I said, you know what? I'll wait. I'll wait till after signing day, early signing day, to put out that video, and we'll discuss some other things. And then signing day happened. Um, there are so many places I can go with this. So if you're a fan of this channel, I told you way back when Mike Norvell wasn't the man for the job. And it's not because I didn't think he was going to be a good coach. I didn't know what the hell he was going to do. Before his name was even brought up in the conversation, I said I didn't want a Mike Norvell. I didn't want a PJ Fleck. I didn't want any coach like that. I didn't want a Matt Campbell. The reason is not because I don't think they're good coaches. It's because I felt the next coach at Florida State needed to be familiar with one of two things, prayerfully both. One, they'd have to have some type of track history or some type of resume of rebuilding the program. And number two, they needed to come in with some level of clout. They needed to come in with, to be able to make Florida State do what nobody has been able to make them do prior to, and that's by the fuck end. That coach needed to have some leverage. Mike Norvell doesn't have leverage. PJ Fleck doesn't have leverage because at this point, Florida State is a better job. I'm sorry, at that point, Florida State was a better job than any of those guys could ever dream of. So they would probably need Florida State more than Florida State would need them. Go back. I've said this on multiple shows. Just go back and look at them. So when Mike Norvell got signed, I wasn't happy. It's not because I don't think he's a good football coach. Meaning I don't think he has X's and O's issues. I don't think that he can't recruit. Hell, I didn't know. It's because he didn't bring leverage. I told you two of the most important integral parts of Florida State getting back to prominence were buy-in from the admin and an influx of talent. Recruiting being the key cog in you getting talent. You buy into the program, you can get these pieces, right? Just when I thought these two things were coming along, just when I thought that there was going to be some light at the end of the fucking tunnel, Wednesday happened. So let's go ahead and get this out the way. Travis Hunter, congratulations. I could not be more proud of that young man. And I say man, not boy, not kid. I say man for a reason. Take a lot of guts to do what he did. And I wish that kid nothing but the best. Jackson State has a fan in me. I'll be going to some of them home games. If I see some of y'all, holler at me. The Deion Sanders thing, got no problem with what Deion did. Deion did his job. Shout out to him. Congratulations to him. That was a hell of a move. My issue isn't even with Travis Hunter. It's everything that surrounded that day and everything that succeeded that day. Listen, some of you all like to make excuses. I'm not one of those people. Some of you are glass half full people. That's fine. I'm not a glass half full or glass half empty person. I think the situation dictates how full or how empty the glass is, because it's not always that cut and dry. You can be as positive as you like to be, but the facts are the facts. What's in front of you is what's in front of you. Only a fool disputes facts. I'm not talking about what I think or what I believe. I'm talking about something tangible, something you can reach out and touch and see for yourself with your own goddamn eyes. What I see with my own eyes is there's a fucking problem at Florida State. And National Signing Day showed just how big that problem is. For the last few years, this season in particular, we knew Florida State were behind on some things, right? As the season progressed, you still knew Florida things were behind on some things. The problem is I don't think any of us knew that they were this behind on every fucking thing. What do they pay you for? Do they pay you to be reactionary to every fucking thing, or do they pay you to be proactive? Do they pay you to be innovative? Do they pay you to have a thumb on these things and able to act before these things blow up in your fucking face? I'm not just talking about Mike Norvell. And a lot of people are attempting to take Mike Norvell off the hook for this shit. It's his staff. The staff needs an upgrade. We need to upgrade here, and there. Let me tell y'all something. Of all the goddamn whips Florida State had Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, whatever, the day as a whole, how in the hell is Mike Norvell not culpable for a lot of this shit? Mike Norvell was on the same goddamn phone calls with those same position coaches that with those kids. Mike Norvell was doing the same in-home visits as those coaches were with those kids. How the hell do you remove him from any level of responsibility? How the hell is that possible? You can't. He's the closer. He's the face of the fucking program. He's the one who's supposed to bring this home. The relationship starts a year, 2 years prior to whatever. It's his job to make sure the kid understands why they should play at Florida State. He didn't do that. You do have to understand that for an in-home visit to be set up, the player and the family have to agree to allow you to come into the home. So let's just use common sense here. Even if you know somebody who's been a part of any type of recruiting process, in order for you to come into the home, there is some level of interest. In-home visits tell me more about an official visit because you go on official visits just to see something different, just to get the fucking gear. To come in home means that the player is interested, the level of which that's to be determined. But they have to want you in there. They're interested. They are intrigued by something to allow you into their home, into their space to eat their food and probably potentially waste their goddamn time. So let's not act like Florida State was out of it for this kid and out of it for that kid. I'm not going to go that far with you. Mike Norvell now is at the head of the table for the worst flip in college football history and the worst loss in program history. And this is the guy whom the program gave an extension to because he was being so heavily negatively recruited against. There's a reason he's being so heavily negatively recruited against. Because he's not doing a very good job at what they pay him to do. That's why. I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know. Schools who had new regimes, new coaches, new head coaches were selling stability when they had just gotten there to recruits that Florida State was in on and had committed. Let that shit sink in for a second. How stable can a program be when you just got here? Florida State is behind, right? Here's the bigger issue with that. When you look at what Mario Cristobal was able to do in such a short period of time, and you look at what Billy Napier was able to do in such a short period of time, some of the guys key guys they were able to get, really talented guys that they were able to get that Florida State wanted. Think about this. If they were able to snag those kids away from Florida State, how does this look moving forward? Like, is this foreshadowing for what we're going to see for the rest of Mike Norvell's tenure? That these guys are going to keep stuffing your ass in lockers? They stuffing your ass in lockers and they just got on campus. They smell blood in the water. I just got here. You've invested a ton of resources in this kid. Ton of time. A lot of effort. A lot of phone calls, a lot of miles being traveled. I came in, been on campus less than a month, swooped in and snatched that kid right from your ass. That's the bigger fucking issue here. That's the goddamn problem. That's embarrassing. For you to be in on Wesley Basaint as long as you was, and not just get him, but lose him to a coach who just came to town. I don't give a shit about his relationship with a coach that was clearly all the way across the country. I don't care about none of that shit. For Florida to go in and get Kamari Wilson from Bradenton, a kid who you had on an official visit, a kid who you did in-home visits with, and Billy Napier coming from a lesser school. I don't even what they call it, a FBS school, whatever they call that shit. A group of five. He commits to Florida over Florida State. Are you all seeing what the issue here is? Are you seeing how big of an issue this is? When there's blood in the water, these types of things happen. There is no fear from Florida, Miami versus Florida State. They have no issue with Florida State. If I can come in this short amount of time, in this small of a window, and snatch kids away from you who you've dedicated a lot of time, effort, and energy into, I'm going to blow the doors off your ass moving forward. 2023, forget about it. 2024, good luck seeing it. I'm going to recruit the socks off your ass. And only that I am building up my staff to do these types of things while you're promoting from within. Listen, people, Florida State doesn't have the bandwidth to promote from within. You promote from within assuming you've done a good job, assuming that coaching staff has done a good job. It hasn't. You're promoting from within in the same coaching staff that played a hand in some of these whiffs. You're promoting from within on the team that won 5 goddamn games, barely won those 5 goddamn games. Schools who got it together like Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, they promote from within because those guys have the track record to show I've been here. I've contributed to the highest level of winning that this program can imagine. I deserve this job. And that's not to say the guys who you are that you're promoting won't do well. I don't fucking know. I like Atkins a lot, and I think he will do well. But Tony Tokars, give me a fucking break. At a time in which you need I'm talking about a hired gun on your staff for recruiting, at a time in which you need a fucking assassin, you go get this guy. In a microcosm, that's what's wrong with this fucking program. Right there. That's it. Staff needs upgrades. You're promoting a guy who's supposed to be some type of up-and-comer. You don't have the bandwidth to promote up-and-comers. Continuity isn't what you need here. You need hired guns. Because you are going to continue to get lapped by these programs in recruiting if you don't wake up and understand the game you're playing. This is big boy football. Billy Napier understands that. I don't think y'all understand the monster that Miami is creating with Mario Cristobal. We can talk about what he does on the field another day. What I do know is he is an outstanding recruiter in the most talent-rich portion of the most talent-rich state in the goddamn country. And you got people out there who are verbally saying, I am committed to getting this program back to where it used to be. People who push buttons and shit happens. People who are willing to donate. These people are verbally, publicly coming out saying, it's time for a change. I'm willing to buy in. You give that to Mario Cristobal, think about this. Think about the Miami game. Let's go back to a fun time in Florida State. Think about the Miami game. Think about how much steam that Miami game had Florida State going into Florida in the offseason, whatever, right? You had, I got the list right here, had 7 official visitors, 22 in all. 7 official visitors, then all you probably had 22 visitors, a lot of unofficial visitors from the 2022 class, right? Of those 7 official visitors, 0 signed with Florida State. Everybody who committed to Florida State that was at that game was already committed to the school. You did nothing. That game did nothing. Absolutely nothing to put things in your favor for any recruit outside of the ones who are already recruited. That don't bother any goddamn body. Because there was a point in time, there was a day in which these big games, the Saturday night and Doe Campbell, that shit meant something. You being so far behind in NIL and you being so far behind with not pulling the plug on bad staff members, or not bad, but people who aren't really doing anything for you, dead weight on the staff. Now look at you. It's a new day, and you are refusing to catch up for reasons that are unbeknownst to me. I can't fucking figure it out. It ain't my goddamn job to figure it out either, so I'm not finna sit here and try. That whole Mortimer thing was embarrassing. Mortimer being committed to the staff, being solidly committed to the staff for as long as he was, then turn around and flip was embarrassing. It's embarrassing because of number one, where he went. You lost a recruiting battle to Louisville. What kind of fucking shit is that? You lost a position of need to a program like Louisville. And what's worse is his words on the way out the door, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something to the effect of, "That offense didn't show me what I needed to see to support my skill set." If that wasn't a swift kick in the nuts, I don't know what was. These same people are telling me Jordan Travis is the answer, though. These are the same people who want Kevin Coleman to come to Florida State. Why? Why? If you're an offensive, if you're a wide receiver, why would you come here? Why would you come to Florida State? Huh? Some of you like to hang your hat on things, like I mentioned, the positive people. You know, y'all whining, we got 13th ranked class in the country. Okay, let me ask you a question. What's more important? You having a 13th ranked class in the country, or you actually addressing some fucking needs for that class? No blue chip defensive end, no blue chip running back, no blue chip wide receiver, no blue chip linebacker. What I miss, guys? You all killed the last coach for staying around and competing for kids with schools he had no business getting in bed with. What's different now? You were competing. I'm talking about up until the very end with Alabama and Georgia and other schools for Kendrick Law. You're not. What the hell can you sell Kendrick Law that Alabama can't? In abundance. You got in bed with Florida. You got in bed with Alabama for Marvin Jones Jr. What are you doing? Why? I understand he's a legacy, and you should continue to recruit, but read the room. Read the goddamn room. There are things Georgia can offer him that you can't. You got in bed with Kamari Wilson. You got in bed with a lot of these kids that you really couldn't offer nothing. You don't have any track record of success lately. You don't really have a track record of putting kids into the league. Your NIL deals are trash. And you compete with big boys. Big boys who got a track record of winning, who got a laundry list of players in the NFL. Huh? And any of this shit sound familiar? If you're an FSU fan, no the fuck it does not, because you don't know what the hell it feels like anymore. You wasted time recruiting some of these kids, and now you have nothing to show for it. And again, the Marvin Jones Jr. thing is different because he's a legacy, right? You probably should pour a lot of resources into that, but there were a lot of other kids that you were chasing down that you had no business running behind. And you have to ask yourself, what hurt Florida State more? Starting 0-4, being 5-7, or having a staff that just ain't got it? Which one is it? Newsflash, folks, it was a combination of all that shit. All of it. Being 0-4, starting 0-4 and being 5-7 aren't the same thing. A lot of these kids checked out after 0-4. A lot of them. A lot of them saw 5-7, and the shit just wasn't as pretty as being 10-2, 12-0, 11-1. You're a loser. You're asking me, blue chip prospect, to come play for a loser. The odds are not in your favor for doing that. You'll get some kids, right? Here and there, you get some kids that you sell the vision to, and the stars align and everything works out. But in most cases, that's not what the fuck happens. But you swung and missed any goddamn way. I got no problem with you swinging. If you swing, your ass better hit. And you didn't. You starting 0-4 and you being 5-7, you should have recruited Travis Hunter as if he was not committed. I don't give a good goddamn how many times he said, "Go ahead, coach. I'm good, man. Go recruit these other guys." No, I know we started 0-4. I know we finished 5-7. I know we struggled in some of those 5 wins. I'm going to give you, and it's not just Travis Hunt. It's being the number 1 ranked player in the country. It's being what they call a generational talent. Losing him, one thing it does is you lose excitement. You lose a level of steam going into next season that you just can't replace. Tonight, I see the kid from Oregon, Michael Pittman, commits to Florida State, so the wide receiver room gets some help. You can't keep addressing these humongous holes with transfer portal people. Because one thing about a transfer portal kid, there's a more than great chance he's leaving that school for a reason. There aren't a lot of NFL first round, second round talent transferring. You get some. Florida State looked up and got one this season. You'll get some. But how sure of you of Michael Pittman, right? Or a kid like Michael Pittman? I'm done. You poured a lot of your eggs in the basket with the kid you went and got from Kansas, whose name is Andrew Parchment. You poured a lot of eggs in that basket. Didn't pan out, did it? That was a transfer. Now look at you. You're doing this all over again. Where's the development? Where's the track record that you've shown that you can get a kid, you can keep a kid in on the goddamn team, and he can be productive on Saturdays? Where the hell is that? Listen, folks, I'm not here to kick a dead horse or kick a man while he's down, but the truth is what it is. Florida State is in trouble, and I don't know what other way to dress it up for you. You were putting your eggs in the basket of a quarterback who doesn't even finish seasons. And some of you really think he's improved. He's improved enough for you to get behind as a quarterback. Okay, great. He's improved, bet. So did Florida State. Too many of y'all are whining about being 5-7 to believe that shit. Well, hell, improvement is improvement, right? Last year, 3-6. This year, 5-7. That's improvement. You happy with it? You happy with being 5-7? If you are, fine, because that means you're being consistent. But I'm just here to tell you can't have it both ways. If you're not happy with the improvement of being 5-7, there can be no way in hell you can be happy about the improvement of a Jordan Travis, because he has improved enough for you to get behind him as being a starting quarterback. He's not good enough. The head coach isn't good enough. If all things are considered equal, improvement is improvement. To be honest with you, from year 1 to year 2, Willie Taggart improved. It wasn't good enough for some of y'all. It wasn't good enough for a lot of y'all. What's happening right now, at this very moment, is too many of you all are being okay with being average. Right now at historic Florida State University, average is good enough. Y'all have fallen in that sunken place of being okay. Y'all are all right with just being cool. Ain't shit cool about being 5-7. Ain't shit cool about being okay. That's the game we playing right now, ladies and gentlemen. Get used to it. If the new AD doesn't come in with some fresh and innovative ideas for Florida State to catch up, you'll never catch up. Cause that's what this is doing. You're playing the game of try to get to a level of what you see consistently from the top programs in the country. What is your plan to do it? Because right now you are in one hell of a goddamn hole. I could eat all of these words. Florida State could go undefeated next season. Florida State can win 8-9 games, whatever the case may be, and I could be dead fucking wrong. I wouldn't love anything more to be wrong about this. I would not love anything more. If Florida State wins 9 games, I eat this fucking microphone. No seasoning. I eat it raw. But everything that I thought about hiring a person like Mike Norvell or a coach like Mike Norvell who's going to bring his ass in here with no leverage is coming to fruition. He's made me a profit right now. I cannot stress this to you enough. National Signing Day ripped off the fucking Band-Aid from an ugly wound. If this doesn't get fixed now, what you all are scared of is your worst nightmares is going to come true. Becoming a Tennessee, becoming a Nebraska, becoming a Texas, where you just hire coach after coach after coach, and the cycle perpetuates itself, and you can't get out of this fucking funk. Well, welcome, goddammit, because right now you are not just knocking on the door, you are beating that son of a bitch down. It's all the time I'm giving you. It's all the time I got. You can reach me on the Hot Seat 19 on Twitter. You can reach me at the Hot Seat 19 on Instagram. Hopefully the next time I come in here, man, we can talk about something better. But right now, the word better should not be associated with Florida State. Until then, y'all be good.